It's such a privilege for me to welcome you to the inaugural class induction of the Trans Am Hall of Fame. The reverence towards Trans Am and what it is today, I can't say it's to what it was in '69 and that what I consider the heyday, but through each iteration of Trans Am, whether it's the early years, the middle years, or current years, oh my God, the significance of the series is still alive and well.
Not growing up in American motorsports, I grew up in the European motorsports world, and always learning about the history of this series and drivers and everything else. I think, the Hall of Fame, with a series starting in the 60s and that we're in 2025, it's taken that long to get a Hall of Fame, but I think it's going to be something that will set a good foundation for the growth of the series.
Drivers so hungry to make their name in the history books that the racing became epic, and I think that was why the fans, and there's so many people in this room that were probably ingrained into motorsports and attracted to it because of the years of Trans Am.
History can't be built, and tradition and all that stuff that you feel deeply, whether it's college football or the Kentucky Derby, doesn't happen overnight. It takes time you can't manufacture that. And so it's definitely time, and there's a rich history, and that's what kind of puts the current accomplishments into perspective too, if you don't have that history.
It's obviously a great honor to have everybody here, and I think for the people from today's Trans Am to be able to be connected to the old Trans Am and see some of the heroes of the sport, I think it's special for all of us.
Many series that have come and gone, and the one that has survived the test of time is Trans Am.
I honestly can't describe what it means to me to personally to be part of this celebration. The goal of the Hall of Fame is to finally, and I underline the word finally, create a formal home that will recognize the Trans Am drivers, the team owners, and the officials who built and made a lasting contribution to the Trans Am series.
When you're young, you don't even think you'll get to this point in your life. You can't look that far forward. And now when you can look back and I think more than anything else, when you're part of the first class, which have been first class of IMSA, first class of Trans Am, but it's the guys that you're getting inducted with.
Racing's a family. It really is a family. You'll cut the guy off at the corner, but he's still family. And I don't see that in a lot of sports. We respect the person's talent, and then he has maybe more talent than you do. So maybe more, maybe less. But when you get in that race car, you're all on the same level. You're all sitting there in your ass and figuring out what do I do now, and that's the fun of it. You make it work.
I felt like I was getting pretty old out here. I've been racing in this series for 12 years now, And then when I got the call to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, made me feel real old.
Drivers from the past and even drivers from nowadays, we get on the racetrack, put our helmets on, we're each other's worst enemy. We hate each other. We want to beat everybody. But, when you get out of the track, after racing, even years after racing, you'll find that some of those people are your closest friends because you share that bond, racing with each other, fighting for every inch of the racetrack. And you can feel that in the room, drivers from different generations that have raced against each other from the past to the modern era, and guys that, we've beat the snot out of each other on the racetrack, but then, we're good friends afterwards. So you can really feel that energy and that history in the room last night, which was pretty awesome.